Hey, this is Bruce, the Weathered Soul, aka the Weathered Soul. How you guys doing today? And here, somebody just kind of did something that I didn't want them to do, and little backslash there. I'm trying to get the YouTube side up. But hey, how you doing? AKA the Weathered Soul here on the Weathered Soul podcast. And I just want to let you guys know before anybody starts listening today that this is not for tender ears. And if you have, if you're a little snowflake, this ain't the one for you. This is not it for you. I've got a big bitch today. I've got a big bitch, and happy St. Patrick's Day today, because that's what it is today. But I'm a little Irish, and I've got my Irish up today. I got my big Irish up today because, you know what? In these days of what we got going on with the division, with the strife between Democrat and Republican, the strife between progressive liberals and conservatives, it doesn't help it at all when people come up and they just keep posting propaganda. And to me, I think propaganda is the worst thing in the world. And I'm all for free speech. I'm all for, everything that is protected in the Constitution, from the First Amendment all the way down to, I guess we're up to 17 now. But, the whole situation is this, is we have a whole lot of freedom and liberty to do what the hell we want to do and how we want to do it. And I don't have a problem with that. But you know what? If you're going to post ridiculous stuff even on your personal page, but especially on the Weathered Soul podcast site, if you're going to post that stuff on my site, you're out. I mean, you're just going to be out, because I run a clean show as much as I can. Of course, it can get a little raw at times. I post stuff to make you think and to make you react. I do not post any kind of propaganda. As far as I'm concerned, I don't post any propaganda, but there are certain people out there that will post nothing but memes and no explanation for it. I mean, they just post memes because they think it's the sly thing to do, or it's because they happen to lean that way. And one of the things that got me all riled up, and I'm pretty fucking riled up right now. I mean, I'm not gonna pull any punches. The chat line is open over here in the YouTube page. So hit that like button, hit that share button, and just go ahead and subscribe to the WSLN website, and you can be notified every time that we go online. But let me tell you something. I've got my freaking ire up, and I'm telling you what, if you're a snowflake or anything like that, you're going to get offended by something that I say today. This is not podcast for you. And it's definitely not the podcast for you, because me and Dougie tell it like it is. And, me and Dougie don't agree with things all the time, and that's just the way it is. But, me and him always go away friends. And I'm sure that me and this person that I'm having a strife with right now will eventually heal our stuff. But, I've got to call things out the way they are. And his name is, and we're just going to call him Ralph. That's what we're going to call him. And Ralph today is a great guy to go ahead and just post crap. And what I'm talking about is crap. And I'm talking about memes. I'm talking about these little pictures with sayings on them and stuff like that, with a scene, a picture, or what happened in the day. And it's got a cute little freaking phrase on it, or projecting some kind of political message and stuff like that. And to me, a lot of that stuff is shit, whether it be from Turning Point USA, whether it be from Occupy Democrats, whether it be from any website that's going to project anything as far as division, or calling somebody out for their race, or who they support, or who they think they are, or whether they're racist or bigot, or whether they're inclusive or not inclusive. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay. So one thing here is that I operate in fact and truth, and as much kind of source that I can get. And one thing that got me off today, and one thing that just really pissed me off today, is that at 6:05 last night, Occupy Democrats posted a meme. And then my friend, Ralph, ended up posting this meme. And this meme is just, it's absolutely misleading. It says, breaking news. This is Robert Aaron Long. If you've been in the news right now, you know that Robert Aaron Long committed a mass shooting in Atlanta last night, or yesterday about noon. and he killed a bunch of people in massage parlors. It was actually 6 Asian women, 1 white woman, and a Mexican man. So anyway, so let's get down to it. He's killing 6 Asian women at 3 different spas in the Atlanta area. He is not ISIS. He is not an immigrant. He is not BLM or Antifa. He's just another homegrown terrorist inspired by bigotry to commit a deadly hate crime. America, we have a problem a wall won't fix. Well, we all know what all this is pointing towards, and like I said, I'm not a great, big, huge Donald Trump fan. I'm not a fan. I didn't vote for him. He was my president. He's gone. Now Biden is my president, and I can, gag on him all I want. But, I don't really gag on the president that much. I do take my pokes here and there. But I'm telling you, this kind of shit right here with Occupy Democrats, Turning Point USA, we know who I'm talking about. They all post this crap that has, of course, it has, some fact in it. Breaking news, Robert Hughes, he was arrested for shooting 6 Asian women, but they left out the white guy. And the white woman, they left out the Mexican guy. Okay. Well, he's not a terrorist. He's a fucking murderer. But on top of that, not only that is what had come out with him today, because this happened at 6:05 last night when they posted this meme. And I'm telling you right now, what came out last night had nothing to do with what happened with this guy. Okay. This guy went out, and it came out today that the motive, because they had no motive for him last night, but this morning it started bleeding out about the motive of what he has. Well, the guy is a sexually addicted person. And you know what? I'm not making excuses for this guy, but addiction is a terrible thing. And I've been through addiction for a long time. It's been a long time that I've been addicted. And I've been addicted to many, many things because I have an addictive personality. I'm a recovering addict. And this thing just hit me right in the gut. It hit me hugely right in the gut because a lot of people just take this time and they just post this crap meme. And I'm telling you, it's a crap meme. And I don't care where you get your information from. I mean, there's plenty of great places to get great information. All right. And CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, none of those sites are really great to get information for. I got a little blurb from Fox News that I want to talk to you about through Robert Aaron Long's classmates who spoke out. But I don't usually quote Fox News or CNN or anything else. But I couldn't find anything else about this guy, so Fox News did a little blurb on who he was. But the problem is that everybody's making him out to be this homegrown terrorist, this Trump supporter, this racist, this bigot, and that can be anywhere farther from the truth. And what happens is that we let this stuff perpetuate. We let our friends do this stuff without calling them out on it, and it divides us even more. Right now, I'm pissed at Ralph. I'm pissed at Ralph so much right now. I blocked him. He's off the Weathered Soul podcast website because I'm not going to put up with that stuff. I'm not going to put up with the low education of somebody who is just doing things to be mean because he's got a side that he wants to be on. Okay? I'm on all sides. Me and Dougie, we see eye to eye on a lot of things. Me and Dougie have our differences on politics and social stuff and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, we come together and we know each other as being individuals, and we rely on our freedom and liberty to be able to speak the way we do on this podcast. So when we get our information, we get, he gets this information not from the websites or from CNN or NBC or Fox News. A lot of times we glean some stuff out of there, but a lot of the information and some of the opinions we have come from people like Bill Maher, John Oliver, Jimmy Dore, which is one of my favorites. I use Tom Woods, a lot of libertarian material I've got. I don't use people like Dan Bongino. I don't use people like Alex Jones or anything like that. To tell you the truth, I used to be a Dan Bongino fan, but to tell you the truth, a lot of his stuff is bullshit. Same with Sean Hannity and things like that. All these guys are doing is giving you propaganda, enough to divide you. And whether Sean Hannity tells the truth, 95% of the time and 5% of it's bullshit, that's the 5% of the bullshit that is infecting the minds of the American people. And it's infecting your mind out there. So I got to ask you this. What is this? What does this do? What kind of value does it give you to know that this guy was some kind of homegrown terrorist inspired by bigotry to commit a deadly hate crime? And then on the bottom, America, we have a problem a wall won't fix. This is all pointed at one person. Like he's the one to blame for it. Well, he's not the one to blame for it. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Long here. All details emerged from the following mass shooting that took place in the Atlanta area on Tuesday, which 8 people were killed. Former classmates of the suspect, Robert Aaron Long, are expressing shock at the news. He was, as usual, here it is, as usual, he was a totally different person in school. Jonathan Desire, who graduated with Long, told Fox News on Wednesday, quiet, calm, and collected. Long is suspected of shooting and killing 8 people in 3 different spa locations. Officials have stressed that the investigation is ongoing, with authorities not making an official determination on the motive of the attacks at this time. And then Cherokee County Sheriff Frank Reynolds said that suspect may have a sexual addiction. And it may have frequented some of these places in the past, but it said it's too early in the investigation to say whether they're dealing with a hate crime. But nonetheless, there's Occupy Democrats going ahead and trying to divide you. Cherokee County Sheriff's Office Captain Jay Baker also said Wednesday that Long, 21, described having a sexual addiction and said that the massage parlor location he targeted may have been a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate. And Long also took responsibility for the shooting, authorities said on Wednesday. So he's already confessed to the crime. So the 21 years old from Woodstock, Georgia, and graduated from Sequoia High School in 2017, classmates said that they were shocked at the news. Desire also described Long as religious and added that they definitely wouldn't have expected this behavior from him. Definitely shocking, he said. The female classmate said that while she never knew Long super personally, she remembers him and seeing him at school and described him as quiet and really to himself. After talking to friends, no one would have expected this from him, and people called him caring, and he was involved in a FCA group, which I have no idea what FCA group is, but he was also a member of of church, the First Baptist Church let me see, excuse me. Anyway, he was a member of a church. He was a Christian, whatever. It really doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that these facts and these things come in, after the fact. But at 6:05 last night, Occupy Democrats decided to go ahead and post this. And I think it's shit. And Occupy Democrats ought to be ashamed of yourself. And anybody who follows Occupy Democrats ought to be ashamed of themselves if they posted this crap. Now, I've got some other friends that do, they do post this stuff from Occupy Democrats. And, I usually go in there and I don't correct them, but I let them know that, hey, you know what, this is propaganda. You probably should let this go and see what happens. So I've got a big rule. And you know what? Like I said, I at least listen to Dan Bongino a lot, and a lot of the crap that he says is propaganda. But there's a very simple thing a very true thing that he said that I live by all the time is I give it 24, give it 48, give it 72 hours, give it some time when a news item comes out before you go posting some ridiculous crap over it. And then getting my ire up, because I'm going to freaking call you out. If you're part of the Weather Soul podcast site, then I'm going to call you out on it. If you got it out, I'm going to educate you, or you're going to educate me, one of the two, because that's what this is all about. We're about education. We're about community and unity. But this stuff like this has nothing to do with unity. It has to do with division. And that's the one thing that I hate and that I won't tolerate on this podcast, and I won't tolerate it in my groups. I'm sorry. It's just not going to do anything. And Ralph, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Right now I'm pissed. Right now I'm hurt. Right now I think this guy, I'm not making excuses of him, but this guy has a problem. He went up and he shot a bunch of people. He's going to have to pay for his crimes. And it's unfortunate that people had to be hurt and people had to be killed. And this kid, for some reason, had it in his mind that he had to do some other things to make his voice known. But it's sad, sad, sad that this had to happen. It really is just enormously sad. I can't fathom, the grief that the families are going through right now of those who have been killed. And even the grief of his family that have to realize, and the grief of his friends and his church and everything else, of realizing that this, their friend or their son or whatever went and did this. I wouldn't have this attitude if I hadn't gone through the same thing myself, not more than 2 years ago, in a shooting situation. So I've got firsthand knowledge of how this whole thing ends and how this whole thing happens. And it's really, really sad. So I don't apologize for what I'm saying today. There's no way. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to apologize for calling somebody out and for trying to educate them on the error of their ways when they're spreading propaganda shit. I'm just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And if you want to keep doing that, then, find your way out the door. Don't subscribe to this podcast, because that's not what we're doing here. We're doing here to educate. We're doing here to talk open forum about all kinds of subjects. I mean, some subjects I don't like, some subjects I do like, some subjects, Dougie likes, DJ Dougie likes, and some of them I don't, and some of them he doesn't. But we have to have an open forum. We have to have a place where we can come together and be safe enough to be able to discuss this. Addiction is an ugly thing. Sexual addiction is even uglier. And I pray for all these people. I pray for Robert Aaron Long. I pray for all of his victims, their families. I pray for all the police officers in the community that's involved in this. I really want that community to come together right now and heal, because there's a lot of healing that has to happen in situations like this. And right now, I just don't think it's a great situation right now. It never is a great time. We had months and months and months here in Gilroy, California, that we had to deal with a tragedy that happened at the Garlic Festival, and it took a long time, and it's still taking time to get over all of the stuff that's happening and all the stuff that happened to us. So I just need really to get that off my chest, because it's just one of the things that just makes me madder than anything. I mean, if it gets my ire up, I mean, I'm Irish and I got my Irish up right now. I mean, we have a show to do. President Biden spoke last week for the first time to actually, the nation. And the stimulus checks just got issued. Mine hit my bank account today, and I just want to talk about that stuff. But I had to get this off my chest first, because if I wouldn't have got this off my chest, then it just wasn't going to be a good show today. So with that, and like I said, I don't apologize. Also, I want to let you know, hey, we're looking for advertisers. So if you got a product or service and you want to advertise it with the Weathered Soul podcast, drop me an email at brucetheweatheredsoul@firstnoteproductions.com or call us at 408-842-1328, and let's discuss your product. Let's discuss you getting in here and being a sponsor for Bruce for Liberty or In the Pit of My Stomach or the In Case You Missed It segment. I mean, we're going to have all those segments tonight, and I couldn't do it without you guys. And there's another guy that I couldn't do it without, and that is DJ Dougie. So let's bring on DJ Dougie, and there he is. Hey, DJ Dougie, how you doing, buddy?
All right, man. How are you?
I know I had to cut off, and I told you before that I was going to cut you off there because I really didn't want to have anything interrupting me during this, because I wanted my full essence of my emotion to come out. and things like that. And you always are able to bring me back to earth and see a couple of different sides of this. And I'm really interested on number one, what you thought of everything. And I really want to know what you think, because I kind of do know what you think about these memes, about division, about propaganda and stuff. And I just really think that, even though we have free speech and all that, I just really think that stuff just doesn't have a real good place for anything. I mean, there's free speech, but then there's, is it good to say, right? I mean, let me know your thoughts, man, because you got the floor right now.
Well, a couple of questions. What was your biggest problem? The part about a wall won't fix that, or just the inaccuracies in general?
It was the inaccuracies in general, and just the whole context of which it was written, and the missing context.
Yeah, because I got information for our Occupy Democrats. Most of the stuff that they post is if you go to fact check websites, they get like one almost true for every 10 half truths. Right. And for every 10 half truths, they get 50 total lies. And for every 50 total lies, they get about 10 pants on fires.
And it's the same thing with TP USA, Turning Point USA. It's the same damn thing, And I think both of these places, whether, they have a right to be on the platform. They have a right to do these memes and stuff like that. But I just don't think it does any good for anybody to even be reading or consuming any of this crap without actually going out and sourcing this material. I mean, it's really
taken at face value. All right, taken at face value. Okay, a wall won't fix those problems. Right?
True.
It's true. It won't.
It's true.
Okay, that part is true. But giving misleading information. I mean, obviously that meme was intended to make it sound like this was a terrorist hate crime.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which it could be, but on the other hand, like you're saying, is most of these spas, as they call them there, here we call them massage parlors, are run by Asians. Yep. By Asian women, at least they are around here, right? So I assume the same, they are, and here on the news, it's kind of like the same deal. What happened in Florida with the Patriots coach and all that shit, right? So that's just the clientele, right? I mean, I shouldn't say the clientele. That's the proprietorship. So those businesses are usually run by Asian people. For some reason, I don't know. They talked about it all. Hear all sorts of shit, it's a fetish thing, it's blah blah blah, it's this or that, whatever. Doesn't matter. And I also heard, and this hasn't been said a lot, and I haven't been watching a lot and listening a lot to this shit, but that the kid was a member of that incel group.
You know what?
And I don't even know if that's true or not, right? That's just blab coming over the airwaves.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that either.
But that would kind of go inside, or I should say that would be totally juxtaposed to the sex addict thing, because the incel guys don't have any sex. Period. Yeah, don't intend to, and are pissed off about it.
Yeah, one thing that kind of got me last night was I searched the three main websites, Fox News and CNN and MSNBC, and not a one of them last night was talking about this being a hate crime, or they talked that there was 6 Asian women. Of course, 8 people died, but they did kind of put their eyeballs on the Asian women, but nothing was insinuated that this was a hate crime. It was being kind of like offered to the fact that maybe they were looking into this as being a hate crime, but nobody said hate crime.
Be honest. Yeah. Let's be honest. Asians are being abused, and that abuse is selling a lot of commercial time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
As you say all the
it's
time.
grabbing airtime. It's grabbing airtime.
As you say all the time, dude. Yeah. Here's what was that? The famous song from the Eagles. Here's the bubble-headed beach bond. Is the head dead yet?
Yeah.
Well, the boys in the rose room got a running bet.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the widow on the set. Where's the dirty laundry? So I mean, that's the way it is. I just think it's plain sick, dude. I really do.
Well, you can see how they're trying to roll that into it being a hate crime because so many Asians are being persecuted right now.
Yeah,
but it may not be.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
and it may not be.
I think it had more to do with the guy, having a kind of like a pervert fuse blowing his head, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like you said about addictions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like when I'm trying to quit smoking, I don't even want to leave the house because there's cigarettes out there. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Right?
I hear you.
Same type of thing. This guy feels trapped. He can't leave his house without going and getting a massage from a aromatherapy spa, and he can't stand it anymore.
Right.
So
So what's he going to do? He's going to go blow it up or whatever he's going to do to try to get that temptation away from him. I mean, I definitely understand the
wrong thing
process.
to do. There are many better things that one could do to alleviate that problem, but unfortunately, this guy's brain only found that one.
Absolutely.
And that may be the bottom line.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. We just don't know.
The guy just a fuse blew, right? It didn't matter if they were Asian women or if they were Bulgarian women. Okay, that's who was there. That's who offered that service. That's where he got that service, and that's what he couldn't control. And he thought that this is the way he's going to control it.
Right.
And then we go all the way back to the original problem of guns, right? It's like he's going to fix his problem with a gun, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, unfortunately not.
Well, he was trying to fix his problem with sex, and sex didn't work. And he was going to try to fix his problem with staying away. That didn't work. He was going to try to fix himself, with church. Apparently, that didn't work. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we do. See, this is one of the things that I do understand. Number one, about addiction, and number two, about a disease that takes over your mind and things like that. And believe me, it's a struggle every day. It really is. It's a struggle every day. I got to get up and I got to tell myself that I've got billions of things to be thankful for. Mm-hmm. I'm serious. When I wake up in the morning, I just thank God that I've got. I'm such a lucky guy to have this roof over my head. I got my wife next to me, my dogs, my covers. I got shoes I can put on. I just go through the list. And that kind of sets my day. And
all those times I missed dying by that much, or being arrested by that much, being robbed by that much. It's like, I feel like I'm lucky. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm so happy for Doug, man. Doug, you got a big thing coming on this week, huh?
Oh,
come on, man. Happy birthday to you.
My brother sent me a card and said, 60 is whatever you want it to be.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. We're going to see you on your 60th, just like you saw me on my 60th birthday.
If I turned it upside down and said, 09?
But yeah, it is DJ Dougie's birthday, so everybody give Dougie a big kiss and a birthday slap on the virtual butt.
Yeah, next time we meet, I'll be 60 years old. Holy cow.
Next time we meet, I'll be 60 years old for sure, man. What a great,
next time we meet on our podcast.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see each other before we see each other on the podcast again. But man, thank you to bring me back to earth, and thank you for your commentary on what was said, because I think it's really, really important. I think it's just extremely important for people to, number one, know about what's going on.
The bottom line is, throwing. This is the reason why I got off Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, because that kind of shit being thrown in my face, and I just couldn't stand it, and I couldn't block everybody. I mean, fuck it, it's easy, just block myself.
I'll have to do that. But that's the essence of the show, and it's the essence of how I get a lot of my material. Is I get ideas from people out there on Facebook, and all you guys that are on the Facebook page. I'm showing you the Facebook page now. We'll add it to the stream right here. This is how to get there. You can go into the group. You can search Facebook and go to the AKA the Weathered Soul page, and you can join the group. It's very simple to join the group. Just join the group, answer a couple questions to let you in. And, unfortunately, if you're on there, I'm usually following you. So I know what you guys are saying on the outside. It's not like I'm stalking you or anything, but it's just like, I like to be able to know the essence of the people that that are in the group. And, not a lot of people are active in the group, but we do have some active members of the group, and we all, we have a decorum. And one of those decorum is that, we don't hurt people and we don't take their stuff. And that's really, really important. And then we're not mean to people. I mean, we're just not mean people. I mean, that's just not the people that we are. We want to have open dialogue. We want to have open ideas. We want to be able to discuss things that we don't naturally agree about, and things like that. I mean, we can talk about the news all day long. I mean, you can go to any kind of podcast you want to. You're going to get any type of different news that you're going to get, but you're going to get it slanted in one way or the other. We've had comments on our podcast, and you can go to give us a comment on iTunes. Go to iTunes right now, give us a comment, 5-star rating, leave us a comment. Wherever you can leave us a comment would be great. Hit that share button, hit that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up on Facebook if you can. But it's one of those things that me and Dougie, that's what we thrive on. A comment was made that they love this show. They love our show because we're two guys, and we can sit here and we can talk. Open dialogue. No script. We haven't scripted this. Me and Doug, he wanted to know what the hell we were going to do for the show tonight. I said, you just wait. We're going to have this show tonight. You have to wait and listen to what I say.
Just wing it.
And usually,
what comes up, comes up.
And we wing it. What comes up, what comes up, because it's interesting conversation. And it starts out with two friends that are just sitting back, and we're having this conversation. This is like a regular Sunday or Saturday night conversation that we have. Boy, we had a great conversation on Saturday night. And it was really good and spirited too. But I mean, we all come away with a sense of that we at least had open communication, and that's what this podcast is all about. I love it, and I love you, Juggy. Thank you, man.
Thanks, man.
But in case you missed it, what do you got for in case you missed it?
Oh, geez! In case you
you don't even know in case you missed it, did you?
No.
I threw him another curveball, man.
No. I had it, but I don't know what happened to my notepad.
Thinking of curveballs last night, man. The freaking Giants stuck it up last night. So I don't know if you caught the Giants game. Oh man, it was pretty bad. And a couple other things. It was pretty bad. Johnny Cueto was on the mound, and he gave up a couple runs. Actually, he pitched pretty good, but the last couple of innings he didn't do too well. And then it was just a slugfest for the Texas Rangers, and it's all preseason and stuff, but it's all good.
Hey, listen, I got something for you. I just remembered. My notes are on the other table. That's all right. I remember what I wrote. One of the things I wanted to put into this segment was, I was watching BBC World News, and they were talking about anti-vaxxers all over the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so funny. It's like the Muslim, or they're talking about clerics, religious people all over the world, and what they're saying about the vaccine. And it's like the Muslims are saying it's they're gonna sneak pig's blood into you through the vaccine, so don't take it. The Israeli guys that the rabbi was saying the vaccine is going to make you gay, don't take it. The Catholic guy was saying that it's full of dead baby juice, don't take it. It's just like,
yeah. That's what I heard about the Johnson & Johnson's when the Catholic, the Pope came out and says you can't, if you're Catholic, you can't take the Johnson & Johnson virus because they're using baby T cells or something like that. I don't remember.
Do you know where those baby T cells came from?
Probably from either.
They came from an aborted baby in 1965.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yes.
Wow. I see.
Yeah.
See. Dougie is our resident science guy. So he's our Degrassi.
Yeah.
He's our answer to Degrassi.
Yeah, and they've been keeping that alive, for all these years. There's other stories like that too. Some lady wanted to sue a hospital because they took a tumor out of her, and then they used that tumor like to grow samples of that type of disease, and it spread.
Right.
It's like it's schools all over the world now, and she's like, "What? Those are my cells.
Yeah.
Where's my cut?"
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you're never going to get a cut out of it. But
well, I know when they took my adrenal gland out, they made me sign something saying that it was okay for them to give it to Stanford.
Oh, okay. So Stanford's got it. And probably using it as a freaking ping pong ball or something, right?
I keep getting nightmares of this big adrenal gland going down Sand Hill Boulevard. Anyway,
well, apparently we had a little excitement in Gilroy last night. For any of you Gilroy people out there, we had a road closure in between Day Road and Fitzgerald. They found an explosive device in the middle of Santa Teresa Boulevard last night. And so that's one of my in case you missed it, and that wouldn't be national news, but yeah, they found an explosive device, and they opened up the road back up a couple hours after the Santa Clara Sheriff's Bomb Squad came out and discovered that, of course, it was a explosives device. It was a improvised firework, is what they said it was, and I'm assuming that they exploded it on site and got rid of it and opened the road. But that was one of the things that was exciting that happened in Gilroy.
I remember when they used to teach you how to make those.
Yeah, I remember making them. So taking them down the creek. Then taking them down the creek and blowing them up, man. So people just, you
know what blew me away was, how you could fold paper up into a triangle and you play that like, tabletop football with it.
Right.
Yeah. You put like a teaspoon of gunpowder in one of those and then fold it up and have a fuse sticking out the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised the pop that makes. Really?
It would be. I'm serious.
That surprised me.
I hear you.
That's like a teaspoon of gunpowder folded up in a piece of paper into a triangle.
And
it's like as loud as a firecracker.
Yeah, we just do match heads. We do match heads. That was our favorite thing.
I lived in the woods, so everybody loaded their own bullets and own shotgun shells. So there was black powder everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Reddit came out with a article this week, and they were talking about all those things that we used to do when we were kids, and all those toys and pieces and stuff like that. And I think we talked about this probably a couple shows back, or maybe half a dozen shows back, and about those things that we can't buy anymore. Those games and stuff that we don't know about it anymore, that you can't buy, like lawn darts.
Yeah. Oh, lawn darts went out a long time ago.
We know lawn darts went out a long time ago.
Probably the first person got one in their forehead.
Now, I remember being able to get a lawn dart, probably, me and Anthony used to play lawn darts when he was alive. And that was no more than, he passed away a couple of years ago, but we had lawn darts 15 years ago.
You haven't been able to buy a lawn dart 15 years ago.
Yeah,
you weren't able to buy a lawn dart since 1980.
They have now the lawn dart that has the bulbous end on it.
Yeah, it's got a weight on it.
Yeah, but it's still
get hit in the head with that, but it's not going to go into your brain.
Yeah, but you're still going to get murdered by blunt object.
Because I thought those lawn darts were insane. we used to play them, and you get, we were kids, right? So you get some kid who doesn't have, any skill,
right.
toss it, and the thing's coming straight at you.
Straight up.
Yeah, and it's like
we're straight up in the air, and you're running away,
scattering. Yeah,
scattering. Another thing that they were talking about is the old chemistry sets. Remember the chemistry sets?
Dude.
Tell me your story about chemistry.
We had a chemistry set bigger than most people's pantries. I shit you not. We had hundreds of bottles of chemicals, of minerals, of elements. We had Bunsen burners. We had the asbestos little plates that you put the beakers on. We blew our own glass to make tubes for.
Yeah. I remember getting that 3-foot by 2-foot pack of the chemistry set, and mom and dad were just like, look, he's got to be a chemist and everything. And we're making sulfuric acid, hydrofluoric acid, all kinds of other shit.
Mercury, we used to make mercury thermometers. we blow the glass and we drop the mercury in there and seal the glass. You pop you heat up the glass to get it hot to make a little vacuum in there so the mercury can move.
And then we had playground equipment. So remember the 3rd-degree burns that you'd get doing the all metal ladder or the all metal slide, right?
Oh yeah, or the skin torn off your fingers from the chains on the swings, or what I did in 1st grade was we didn't sit on top of the seesaws. We hung off the bottom of them.
All right.
And of course, I'm up, and the kid at the bottom lets go, and it comes flying down, and a nail goes into my forehead. That was classic. I didn't even tell anybody about that one.
Or what was that? What was the one that went round and round and round and round and round? Oh, that one was.
Oh, that was a great leg breaker.
Oh, dude, where you would get everybody on there, and one person would just sit there and just keep going around and around until everybody flew off. It was just, those were the certain things that Reddit was talking about. It was a hilarious little article, but kind of reminiscent about what was going on back when we were kids back in the 70s.
Right, but back then it's like you come in and you say I got this road rash from the metal slide, and the nurse would look at you and say, here, take a salt pill and walk it off.
Yeah, how did we survive, Dougie?
Now it would be a lawsuit.
How are we still alive?
Yeah. Now it would be a bloody lawsuit.
It would be.
Imagine
it would be. Just,
what the hell? And you still have to give him a trophy in the end.
Speaking of trophies, hey, our trophy president was on TV last week. Did you happen to catch the speech that he had?
I caught a few things that he said. I don't know which was the official one. They all seem pretty short.
Yeah, he was only on for 20 minutes. I actually,
I probably saw it.
I actually came in, from work and I went I wasn't really overly excited or something. I came in here in the office and I was doing some stuff on the computer, and I decided, what the hell, let's listen to see what Joe has to say. And of course, Joe was sitting there going like, you got to wear your mask, and you got to be this, and you got to be that, because maybe we'll just let you have 4th of July this year. And it was so weird just seeing him, up at the mic.
I've got a prediction. I think we're going to be shut down again by 4th of July.
Do you think so? Do you?
God, I'm
think
really nervous. See what's going on in Florida and Texas with spring break, and
we're going to find out. But you know what? We went through spring break last year, and we can. Me and you have sat here and we bantered this. We beat this dead horse to death, and I got a feeling that the graphs and all the data have shown that nothing has changed either way. Whether we lock down, I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk. I think
the graphs have shown pretty clearly that
I'm not going to talk about masks. I'm not going to talk about masks. I'm not going to talk about vaccines or anything. Just
a couple of weeks after each holiday, there's been a hump.
Let me finish.
Right? Hasn't there? Okay. After each holiday, there's been a hump.
Let me finish.
Okay. As long as you'll admit that.
Let me finish.
As long as you'll admit that. Go ahead, man.
We can debate whether masks
I'll
work
mute
or
myself.
not.
Go ahead.
We can debate whether masks work or not. We can debate whether lockdowns work or not. But we cannot debate and we cannot deny the fact that all the graphs, whether people have masked up, locked down, whatever, did, whatever, who died, what died, how many people died, per capita, whatever, all the graphs are the same. Relatively the same. Some may be a little bit more elevated than others, some not. And yeah, you're right. It does. We have a little spike, but basically what we got going on is we have a seasonal thing going in a downward spiral right now. Whether Texas opened up all their stuff to 100% and not wearing masks and stuff like that, there are still people out there in Texas and businesses out there saying, no, we're not comfortable with it. We're going to
states have cases on the rise right now. 15.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, and it's going to rise. But we're talking infection rates, and we're not talking about deaths. We're talking about will the deaths occur? Yeah, sure, the deaths are going to occur to those people that are most vulnerable to the virus. I mean, that you are more than I am vulnerable to that. You've taken your liberties to go ahead and take that into your own hands. California has opened up the eligibility for people in your condition to go ahead and get vaccines before me, which is fine. I'm healthy guy. I've lived a kind of a hard life. I mean, I'm probably a little bit more susceptible, but when my turn comes. We were talking about it before. Probably going to take, hopefully that by the time my turn comes up, I have a choice on which vaccine I want to take, and I'm hoping that I'm actually hoping that you have a choice of the vaccine you're going to take. But yeah, I think the situation is.
I want the one with pig's blood.
We've always said this is real. Me and you have always agreed that this virus is real. We've agreed that this virus is more dangerous to some people than others. Some of the wild stuff that's going on, like my neighbor who passed away next door, who was 35, and it's unfortunate that he died, but he had the comorbidity. He was one of those ones that had to work. I mean, he was an essential employee, and unfortunately he contracted the virus, and with no help from a lot of people, he passed away. I've got another neighbor of mine who she was in the healthcare business. She still hasn't been vaccinated, but yet she got COVID, and she has asthma, and she's having a hard time, coming back from that. She's still on oxygen. We have friends out there. Me and you both have friends out there that we know in the music industry and stuff like that have contracted COVID. Some of them have come back in flying colors, and I don't think of anybody who's actually passed away. But let's take the salt for what it's worth. Is that we are in a pandemic. It is for real, whether some of our listeners want to admit it or not. I for one, I wear my mask because I'm concerned for you. I wear my mask because I have to go. But other than that, I probably wouldn't wear my mask. I mean, that's just the way it is. I haven't locked down.
I don't like wearing it.
Yeah, I haven't
really
locked.
Don't.
Yeah, I haven't locked down. I have lived as free and as much liberty as I can. With the situation that we have, but I haven't locked down. There's a lot of things I would love to go out and do, but unfortunately, they're not going to let us do that. And whether that be good or bad, that's just kind of up to whoever's the one that's pulling the strings. And it's all going to come back, guys. It really is. It's going to come back. There's a lot of good data out there, and there's we've got the vaccines going on, and whether you're a vaxxer or an anti-vaxxer, it really doesn't matter. You're probably going to get a vaccine, or you're going to get COVID, or you're going to get both, one of the two. I mean, it's the whole thing is this. It's not a matter of when or if. It's a matter of when. And that's a fact. I've got some good doctor friends of mine that are all on board, and they were not deniers before, and they are sane people with sane practices and stuff like that, and they're going like, yeah, this is for real, and you are going to get it. There's no way that you're not going to not get it. It is a virus that mutates. You're going to get a variant in one way or the other, where you get the big contagious variant, that maybe not do anything to you, or maybe you'll get another variant that's going to put you in the hospital, or maybe you'll get the variant that's going to make you a little sick or whatever. You're going to get the virus. There's no two ways about it.
And vaccines are going to be a part of life, because
vaccines are already a part of life.
But I mean, this is another vaccine that
it's going to be endemic.
It's not going to be like the getting the flu shot, where may or may not keep you from getting sick. If they pick the right virus, this year and all that stuff, made enough of
You
it.
really
Blah,
think
blah,
so?
blah,
You,
blah,
you
blah.
don't think this thing will mutate the way that
Oh
the
yeah,
flu virus will?
I think every year we're going to need a new shot.
Yeah.
And it's a virus, so they're not going to be able to.
I think it's going to. All the experts say that's going to be endemic, and
yeah,
it's
they're not
going to
be able to
things.
eradicate it because it'll never be 100%, immunity.
Well, I
There's
told
always
you
going to
that.
be some people that have it.
Yeah, and I told you
those
that
people are going to
before.
keep spreading it, and they're going to spread it to other people, and even people who got the vaccine, this year, next year they're going to be susceptible to a new strain, or the vaccine antibodies aren't going to last that long.
Yeah,
right.
I think we talked about that. We talked about this. We all really talked about this way before. When we first started. I mean, even a year ago, last year.
Yeah,
I was telling you
last year called "Rona Goes Round Around."
Yeah, and I told exactly, and I told you last year that this virus has been having a vaccine developed for it for years and years and years and years and years, back when they had the bird flu and the MERS virus, and they were just not having any luck getting anything to happen with this coronavirus. And I still think the same thing applies today. I think maybe they're a little bit better. Maybe this mRNA, is that the way I'm saying it right?
Yeah.
The mRNA variant of
mRNA, yes.
Yeah, something like that. And then and then this is a different vaccine, and then the Johnson and Johnson's is more of a traditional dead virus vaccine and stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of hope in both. There's some new therapies coming out, and I think that I think for the most part that we're going to whip this thing. Unfortunately, it's just going to take its toll. I mean, and that's just the way it is. And I'm sorry, Josh, if that disturbs you, but we've lived in this thing long enough, and we've all, those of us who have had it, those of us who haven't had it, have been lucky. I think me and Dougie both agree that we probably both had it already, and probably have antibodies for it, and whether they're still
anymore.
good, maybe not.
I asked my doctor about an antibody test. He said no, if you have the disease, you can get it again after 3 months.
I do
3 months.
Yeah, but I still think that the antibodies are still antibodies. I mean, you have them whether you know it or not. I think that they're dormant. But
it's just like tetanus.
Yeah. Well, that's true. So,
they go away after a while.
But then again, here we are. We're going to be going into an endemic type of vaccine. So
yeah. You use it or lose it, right? The efficacy abates after time, because your body doesn't need it. Like,
look at us all.
Why am I bothering?
Look at us all smart now. We're all smart.
Yeah, well, I was always smart.
That's all right if you're wrong most of the time. As you tell me.
Yeah, well, I thought I was wrong once, but actually I was mistaken.
You were just mistaken.
Yeah. No, I was mistaken when I thought I was wrong.
I got you. Bring us to the end of the show, man. We got a couple minutes left. What do you want to talk about? What do you got?
Oh, geez, I went.
We had a whole show lined up, but
I went to Webster's, and I downloaded some definitions of some terms that we throw around all the time, like liberty and freedom, and I pulled up another one, license and franchise, because I think those are all important terms to really know the meaning of, and basically, they're all kind of mean the same, but they're different. Like, liberty is talking about quality of the state of being free, right? The power to do as one pleases, freedom from physical restraint, freedom from arbitrary or despotic control, the positive enjoyment of various social, political, economic rights and privileges, the power of choice. But it's also, a right or immunity enjoyed by a prescription, which means it's a grant, right? Mm-hmm. Liberty is something that's given to you, like when like in the Navy, they say, you're on liberty, so exactly. You are free to choose to go into the Navy. Mm-hmm. Once you're in the Navy, you're living under their rules, and if they feel like it, they can grant you a liberty to go back living in your civilian rules.
Right.
Do you follow what I'm saying? right?
I absolutely follow what
Yeah,
you're saying. Being a product of both. So
right. Yeah. I figured you could relate to that.
yeah.
Freedom is, they're saying, freedom is basically the absence of coercion,
Mhm.
right? The freedom is you making your choice, not you being told what choice to make.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
one of the
then,
things that go ahead.
yeah. 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 I mean, that's one of the, the basic tenets of it, right? It's like,
Right.
um, what did they say here? The quality or state of being exempt or released, usually from something onerous, like freedom of care. Like I'm free of caring about that anymore. I've been released. I'm
Mhm.
free of that. Um, unrestricted use. Like um, I gave him the freedom of our home.
Mhm.
Right? He can come and go as he pleases. He can use the toilet, drink out of the bowl, whatever he wants. Right? Um, and it's also and another one that I want to get into is this is the reason why I put franchise. You hear people say the term of let me be frank with you.
Mm.
Well, they're not talking about Sir Francis Drake. The frank comes from the word of franchise,
Mhm.
which I didn't know.
I didn't
And
know
then
that either. So
yeah.
educate me, man. Educate
Yeah.
me.
And so let me just get to my notes here because this was kind of new to me too. Yeah. So franchises, you get a franchise, like McDonald's franchise,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It's licensed to use their name to make
Right.
your own money with,
Mhm.
right? So that's so franchise is basically like the territory involved with that freedom or that
Right.
right. It's pretty interesting the way that works. So franchise is actually a form of freedom, but it's another granted form of freedom. Like you
Mhm.
have the freedom to run the business any way you want within their rules.
Right. Right.
That's yeah. And then license is granted is giving a document or something to grant you the right to do something like driver's license, fishing license, blah blah blah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So they're all
Mhm.
interesting to see where these words came from and what they really mean. And then it's interesting, to hear how people kind of, flippantly throw them around like liberty is the same as freedom, but it's really not.
No, they're
Yeah.
different because that,
Yeah.
like you said, it's the quality of the free liberty is the quality of the freedom that you possess, and
Yeah.
that's what I try to explain to people. I mean, yeah, I wrote a blurb on Facebook right after the president spoke, and I said, really, I don't. And after Greg Abbott, actually opened up Texas, I said, you know what, I don't need the government or anybody to tell me that I have the liberty or the freedom to do something. I live free. I live and breathe freedom every day. I mean, you know me, Doug. You and Abby both
Right.
know me. I live and I breathe freedom. I do not fuck around with this stuff. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
Am
And
I
you're
bound?
allowed to do that within the
Am,
bounds of the
am I
liberty
bound?
that you're
Yeah.
given.
Am I bound between laws and things that I have to swallow? Right? Do I have the right to go into Nob Hill without my mask and go shop if I want to? No, because Nob Hill says that I have to wear a mask and that I have to do this. Am I allowed to use gold and silver as my currency to go buy my groceries at Costco? No, I got to use a credit card or I got to use cash, right? I mean,
Well,
there's
you can use gold and silver as long as it's
uh,
minted,
yeah, as long as
right? As
it's
long as
minted,
it's a U.S. coin,
but you see
and
where I'm getting at.
then you
But
give $1,300 worth of gold for a bag of potato
for a bag of
chips
potato chips,
because
right?
it says $1 on it.
But you're right about liberty being the value and the status of how you feel about freedom or how your freedom is and what the quality of it right now, and I would be interested to find out about a bunch of people how they feel that their quality of freedom is, and I happen to believe that your quality of freedom, your liberty, is governed by the way that you run your life. And I'm going to say this over and over again until everybody gets it into their head that personal freedom, or excuse me, personal responsibility dictates the quality of the freedom that you have, because you can be free and live under any rule, because I lack the filter, as I saw at the beginning of this podcast. I lack that filter of being decent and humble sometimes, because I've got to tell you how it is. Because if I don't tell you how it is, number one, it's going to eat me up. And number two, I'm going to let you go. And I'm not going to do that. But the quality of my freedom is dictated by the personal responsibility that I take around my family, around my friends, around my community, around my state, around my job, around everything. And it really kind of rounds up the kind of human that you are. And I think that both me and you,
personal responsibility to maintain your liberty, right?
Absolutely.
To maintain the bounds of it, to maintain the function of it, not, to maintain the limits of it.
Absolutely.
It's your personal responsibility.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Or otherwise, we can't grant you liberty anymore.
Yeah. I have boundaries. I have boundaries. You have boundaries. The state has boundaries. Your household has boundaries. Everybody has boundaries. And we have to respect all those boundaries. Do we have
go back to the sailor?
Yeah.
The sailor that's out on liberty goes out and gets a sunburn and can't go back to work. He's got to take a Section 8 because he's sick. He can't go back to work. He abused his liberty.
AR-15, man. He gets an Article 15 on that, baby, and goes up against the judge, and he might get some break time. But
right. Anyway,
Dougie,
there we go.
It's time to go, man.
Is it already?
And here's where I gush all over him because, man, DJ Dougie is the guy. I don't care what you say. You might come in here, you might want to watch AKA The Weather Soul, but really, it's really Doug. That really brings me back to Earth. Doug, I want to thank you, man, for being my co-host. Like I thank you all the time. Thank you for your commentary after my little rant, because I feel a lot better getting that off my chest, and maybe I'll be able to talk to Ralph tomorrow.
I think you got way too upset over it. You could just say, Ralph, that was some silly shit. Don't be posting crap before you know the facts.
I did. He didn't take that very well.
Such is life. That's his right.
But anyway, hey, if you guys like what we're doing here, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, hit the share button, give us a 5-star rating over at iTunes, because that's how we go up to the charts. And if you guys take this and share this podcast with a friend, I promise you guys that we will be back next week with another edition of the Weather Soul podcast. You guys have a great night. And Dougie, you have a great birthday, and I will see you on Sunday.
Right on.
And we will talk to you later, guys. Take care, man. Bye-bye.
All right.